When you go to the mall or some other places, they're like their own little cities, and in these little cities, they have their own little police departments, as they were. They have security guards and whatnot. Now, this story is a little bit old, but we needed to talk about it because in Alabama, a church wanted to set up its own police force. Now, that doesn't smack of Sharia law at all. Now, this was requested by a Birmingham church to establish its own police force to have an advantage through Public Safety Committee of Alabama legislature. Some lawmakers are concerned what they call a predominantly dangerous precedent. The Briarwood Presbyterian Church requested to establish its own police department in order to, quote, create a safer campus in a fallen world, unquote. This is no different than what the Muslims do with morality police, who walk around and say, hey, you're doing a thing that we don't like because our religion says no. While it's not unusual for some universities to operate its own police force, it would be the first case of a church in Alabama granting permission by the legislature to do the same. Briarwood attorney Eric Johnson told local media that the police department would basically consist of one officer. Yeah, like that'll stay just at one person who is currently working with the church part-time to provide security. We've got over 30,000 events a year that take place in Briarwood. We're going all day, all night, at the school, at the church, and the seminary, Johnson told the Birmingham News. We have to hire policemen all the time. It would be much easier to hire someone on staff. No, you can hire a police department to do your event, but you don't get to have your own police department. You're going to have your own little jail, too? Are you going to put flames inside? So you're going to send them to little hell? Kind of your thoughts.
Yeah, I'm sure it'd be easier for a lot of people if they just wanted to have their own police department. I'm sorry, is this somebody who's just on staff with the church, or is on staff also with the police department? Isn't this with separation of church and state? Of course, it's Alabama. Maybe it doesn't matter. And one guy, I don't know if it's one of their parishioners. How bad is security? What level of security are they needing? Why do they need this level of security?
You're looking at it all wrong. This is just their way of saying we don't actually believe that there's a God. Yeah. We need to be protected from the people who think there's a God.
Yeah, I was going to go there myself, actually. If you need a police department inside your church, you don't believe in a God. I'm sorry, you just don't.
You're afraid of people who believe in God.
They will conduct their own investigations. They will conduct their own security. They will make their own arrests. So it's one-stop shopping for your Sunday morning needs, I guess. I don't know.
And it's all, instead of calling for the local law enforcement agency to take over the particular situation they're trying to control, they will do that themselves. They will utilize from their other law enforcement agencies is their lockup facilities. So, that's what they're claiming. It says, we'll just give you guys the bad guys or whoever's problem with it, and then you guys can lock them up then.
Well, because we don't actually feed and house the poor and hungry and the destitute.
The thing is here, though, they say it's just one guy, but I mean, if they've got all these events, by their own words, they say they have over 30,000 events a year, day and night.
What?
Yeah, that's what they said here. We've got over 30,000 events a year that take place in Briarwood. So they're just going to hire just one dude? That's what they said. They're just going to hire one guy.
One dude. I didn't realize the Presbyterian Church was that big down in Alabama.
Apparently it is.
It saddens me that churches don't recognize the message that they're sending out. It's like, just admit it. You don't think there's a God. This is a social club. This is a cult. If you need security, it's a cult.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah.
And it saddens me that their parishioners, not the churches, but the people who go to the churches don't recognize this fact.
Yeah.
Yeah. I went to a church that is in downtown Tacoma ages ago, and we actually had to have somebody patrol the parking lot because it's Hilltop Tacoma kind of had a reputation. I don't know if anybody else ever heard about it, but it was a high crime area, and we had some break-ins, into cars in the parking lot. And so, if you have somebody standing there, crimes of opportunity go down. But I look at this and I go, that's just messed up. That's just, no.
I was driving my daughter back to college just this last year, and we ended up going a little off track because my GPS at the time wasn't working quite properly. So we went down this one way we had never gone down before, and we were passed right by the church, and they had a fenced-in area for where the cars were. People could drive in, and they could lock up the fences and everything. I was thinking, you people don't believe in God. You don't believe in a God.
Yeah. Yeah. No, you guys are exactly right.
Yeah, I knew it was Milwaukee and everything, but I mean, if they thought that their God was real, why would they even think to bother locking their cars? Why would they need a fence around there? Because if they're holy and everything, your God should protect them and their stuff. Because when I was religious, I would go to the sermons and everything like that, and people would say, "Hey, God did this thing for me, and they protected my stuff." So why doesn't your God protect your stuff all the time? Is it incapable of doing so?
Well, and even Jesus said, if somebody asks for your coat, give them your shirt also. If somebody wants something that's in your car, I don't know why that doesn't apply. I mean, I wouldn't want it to happen to me, but your gain is not down here on earth. It's in heaven.
Right.
And so, yeah, no.
If churches were honest, then everything would be there for the taking, because they're taking a pretty good cut out of their parishioners. All that should be free to go back to the parishioners, even if they're not parishioners. You're supposed to be servicing the people. Well, if the people feel the need to steal, then obviously they're not doing their job, so they should just give it up anyway.
Yeah, we have a comment from the chat room here. Torva says that maybe someone has hired a relative as an excuse to pay them.
Oh, you know what? And if he's hired by the church, is he also a pastor? And is this a tax? I don't know. That's a big thing in churches right now. The janitor is a pastor, so he's on the church payroll, and so that's treated differently than just hiring a janitor. You get different tax breaks. And
yeah, that's true. Everyone who works at a church, no matter what their job, they're all considered pastors of some nature, so that they don't pay taxes.
Fishhead Salad, thank you for joining us in the chat room. He says, for the same reason that the Pope needs a bulletproof glass for his silly clown car. When they brought out the original Pope mobile, I was kind of hoping they would put like lottery balls in there, like floating around in there with them, and then someone reach off the top.
And there it goes.
Bingo!
Yeah, I guess it says B79. Yeah, exactly.